not about pushing
Yeah.
people into any of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, the relationship between parents and their children, there are always going to be difficulties there, as in all relationships, especially relationships where you're living together and you're raising your children. So there's always stuff to uncover there and to work on, and it's amazing that you're able to help children and parents in that way. And I know that you also work with trauma. So
Mhm.
how do you treat clients that have experienced trauma in the past?
Mm. The first thing that I do is I focus on creating a sacred container. Oftentimes, it's not, um, clients don't necessarily have words to describe the pain that they've been holding on to because they have taught themselves
Mm-hmm.
how to fight through life, and how to kind of put their trauma
Repress.
on the back. Yeah, and they've taught themselves how to kind of put it on the back burner and just
Yeah.
be the warrior in life. And so, um,
Mm.
oftentimes I will focus in the very beginning with them in getting them to just receive sound healing so that they can tap
Yeah.
into like what is here for them, what
It's
wants
like
to be expressed,
softening
what
them.
want. Yes, that's what I was just
Mm.
going to say. Actually, you just read my mind. um, I really focus on like teaching them how can you tap into that softening frequency in your heart.
Mm.
Because if you're not
Mm.
in that space, if you're in this shielded way of moving through life, it's not going to be easy to get into these feelings that have been repressed, and to
Yeah.
feel like it's safe for you to even speak of your trauma, yet
Yeah.
alone. So I really
Hmm.
tap into, I love sound healing. I love getting people to move in their body, like whether it means teaching them specific qigong exercises, breath work exercises, sometimes just making specific sounds that I'm hearing that are moving through their bodies that just want to be heard. And once they begin to hear themselves, the trauma begins to show up, that they can
Hmm.
feel like, oh, I can go there, but I'm not going to stay in it. I'm not going to feel so triggered that I don't feel like I can move out of it. So
Yeah. You help
that's
them
kind
move through it.
in a very gentle way.
Yeah. You essentially create a safe space where they can be vulnerable, um, in order to experience, release, allow those emotions to flow through them in a way that is healing, which is incredible.
Yeah, because people with trauma, most of the people that come to me, they'll tell me, gosh, I've never felt so heard. I've never felt like somebody really sees me, somebody really gets me. And so when you walk around in this world feeling like that, it becomes so uncomfortable just to be you. It's like, who am I with this trauma? I don't even know who I am. So
Yeah.
I,
Hmm.
I I focus on creating that safe, nourishing, sacred container for them to express themselves.
Amazing. I'd love to hear about your own personal experience with healing trauma. I know you've had a long path, as all healers have. It would be great if you could talk about that a bit.
Sure, sure. So, throughout my life, I've experienced quite a bit of trauma, starting from my childhood, moving all the way in through my adulthood. And I found that my whole nervous system was so wound up that I didn't even know that I literally was moving through life as if I was in a pressure cooker. I
Hmm.
oftentimes give people that description because it's true, and I know that I'm not the only one. And this is what happens when we walk day in and day out through trauma, and we don't know we're going, often running from our own feelings because we don't feel safe to feel. And so I have gone through so many different kinds of healing experiences in working with my own trauma to really help me to get crystal clear um, on my own boundaries And most recently, maybe I'll just jump to the gun. Like I'll jump to the to what I'm doing right now. Right now,
Go
I've
for it.
been doing two different things, which is I've been working on ancestral healing, which is so helpful for me. I've been using family constellation therapy, as
Mm.
well as I've been working with Naomi, um, with you, to help me to heal from sexual trauma that has happened to
Mhm.
me, and that I feel like I have basically held on to so much pain that I didn't even know I was still holding and carrying, and walking through this world feeling very unsafe, and not
Yeah.
feeling like almost feeling disconnected from myself in ways like I don't belong here because I'm holding on to so much pain. And I
Yeah.
had to, and so by working with you and doing the healing, like working with my womb and working with my voice, getting me to feel like I can just be who I am, be all of me,
Mhm.
and not feel like anything needs to be um uh, shut down anymore. You know, I was so shut down. And I think in fact, I know I was shut down because I was also walking through this life holding on to these beliefs that my ancestors have kind of like passed on to me, that I was also disconnected from my ancestors because I didn't want to feel. I had so much, it was so much pain that was living inside of me that like, I just didn't want to go there. I was terrified of my own pain, but I knew,
Yeah.
and again, like I could cry right now because
Hmm.
there's this is the work. This is the work of being a healer.
Totally.
If we can't do our own work on ourselves, then how can we show up in the world? How can we
Completely.
show up intimately with our clients, with our friends, with our family? And that's what you're teaching me through this work.
Oh. Oh, that's so
So
sweet. That's beautiful. I'm so honored to be working with you. Honored to have received from you, honored to now be giving to you, and that's really how healers need to work. Is it's this constant giving and receiving. Healers need to heal in order to be healers. So we really should all be doing this work, and I'm so happy that I'm able to help you. Um, and I would love to hear about your future plans. I know you're doing all sorts of things now online. Maybe you could talk a bit about that.
sure, absolutely. So, one of my greatest visions in this world is, of course, since I love working with children and I love working with caregivers, I have a dream of creating a nonprofit in an orphanage where I
Mm.
would have a healing center where I would be teaching the caregivers and the teachers and the psychologists, all the people that work with the children, tools for helping to support them, as well as tools for them to better understand how to support the children. So
Wow.
that's coming. And that's been a dream of
Wow.
mine for a while. Yes, yes. And in
That's
fact, that's why.
incredible.
Yes, yes. So that's coming very soon. And soon, on top of, sorry, an additional future plan of mine, which is more within the next few months, I'm going to be having my next online group healing program, because I feel like when we can do this work together, we all start to step into our truth that much faster when we allow ourselves to be seen, when we really get comfortable in the uncomfortable, feeling the feels in front of
Mm.
people, that we learn that it's like it's okay and we are needed to be feeling our feelings in front of others, and in order for us to
Mhm.
shine our light into this world. So that's coming to you guys in the next few months. And then in the very moment right now, I have a weekly online healing circle where I bring people together and I teach them a lot of my tools that I feel are needed, that can support them, and I also give them a space for them to be able to speak and receive the guidance and support that they need. So that's some of the things that I have going on right now.
That is fantastic. And what about your I Am Courage group on Facebook? If you could just briefly explain what that is.
Oh, sure, sure. So, uh, back when I began, I've been nomadic for the past 3 years. And again, I was like, I want a community. I want to bring people together. So, especially with just being all around the world, tapping into communities in various places, I was like, I want to bring people that I've met along the journey and people that I've been working with and people that I
Yeah.
know online. I want to bring them all together.
So that
And I
is
want,
essentially, that's your I Am Courage group, which
yes,
I will give the information in just a moment, but we do have to wrap
great,
up. So
great.
thank you so much for taking the time to be with us on Divine Couples. If you would like more information about Natalie KWAIT, you can visit www.natalie, NATALIE, You can also visit Natalie's social media page at Natalie KWAIT on Facebook, or check out her community I Am Courage on Facebook. Thanks again for being with us on Divine Couples. Feel free to check us out at www.divine-couples.com, and our social media page is on Instagram, divine.couples, adding intimacy, passion, and healing to your lives. Thanks for joining us on Divine Couples. I am your host, Naomi Slater.
Join us next time to continue your journey in exploring the depths of your life force energy. Until then, this has been your host, Naomi Slater. If you have any more questions on this subject, feel free to reach out. Follow her on Instagram at divine.couples. And to see all of her offerings, visit her website at theworldwideweb.divine-couples.com.